Elon Musk, the billionaire founder of Tesla and SpaceX, will be leaving his role at DOGE, the government slashing initiative launched by US President Donald Trump earlier this year. Musk's departure comes a day after the tech billionaire criticized the Republican spending bill backed by President Trump. Musk, whose whirlwind 4 months as a special government employee witnessed DOGE, that stands for the Department of Government Efficiency, attempt to slash the federal workforce and cut government spending, often taking drastic measures. DOGE's operations hindered the foreign aid programs of the US under USAID, as well as drastically cutting other federal programs such as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Musk was appointed as a special government employee by the White House, a temporary posting which allows an individual to work for 130 days during a 365-day period. The period of 130 days for Musk was coming to an end this Friday. Musk's DOGE originally envisioned cutting roughly $2 trillion from the roughly $6.8 trillion US federal budget. Before Trump's inauguration in January, Musk acknowledged that such a goal may be unrealistic, but hoped that by keeping a goal of at least $2 trillion, DOGE could hit at least $1 trillion in spending cuts. However, the goal has since dropped to around $200 billion. Musk's chainsaw approach to the government saw roughly 260,000 federal employees fired or taking voluntary retirement packages from the overall workforce of around 2.3 million. A number of the federal workers fired by the US government have since gone to the courts. The rapid firing process also saw a number of federal employees fired before being given offers to be rehired, including those from the US nuclear program. The cuts initiated by DOGE faced numerous criticisms, with courts reinstating some of the fired employees and in other instances blocking the process. Trump's first buddy criticized the Republican-led spending bill, which narrowly passed the House of Representatives last week, for increasing the overall budget deficit and for undermining the work that DOGE team is doing. The bill, dubbed as Big and Beautiful by Trump, will see the national deficit rise by around $3.8 trillion by 2034, according to the Congressional Budget Office. For Musk, the last 4 months in government has seen his company Tesla, the electronic vehicles manufacturer, see a slump in sales. Since joining government, Tesla's quarterly net income till April 2025 fell by 71%. Furthermore, sales have continued to drop for the electronic vehicle manufacturer. Between January and April 2025, Tesla's overall sales within the European Union fell roughly by 46.1% compared to the same period last year. In April alone, the company sold 5,475 units across the European Union, which is a sharp decline from 11,540 in the same month in 2024. In comparison, Chinese automaker BYD has seen its sales increase by roughly 59% in April 2025 in comparison to the previous year in the EU. Shares for Tesla have tumbled from its peak in December 2024 and has somewhat recovered since Musk has promised to invest more time in the company last month. But that's not the only corporate headache for the embattled billionaire. His multi-billion-dollar Starship rocket blew up over the Indian Ocean earlier this week, while the social media application X faced general outages over the last weekend, pointing to his corporate difficulties just as he signals his retreat from public office. Tesla has seen a number of protests and calls for boycotts by activists this year following Musk's role in the American government. US Attorney General Pam Bondi had to step in and warn that any acts of vandalism against Tesla would be considered as an act of domestic terrorism. Musk's exit comes on the back of a Trump administration which is seeing some movement in terms of personnel. His first presidency was considered a revolving door, with appointments hired and fired consistently. So far in the second term, Trump has moved his former national security advisor, Mike Waltz, to become the next permanent representative to the UN, following the scandal which saw a journalist added to a chat group discussing American strikes on Yemen. Trump's original nominee for the UN, Elise Stefanik, was withdrawn. Similarly, over the last weekend, nearly 100 staff members at the National Security Council were fired. Matt Gaetz, Trump's original nominee for Attorney General, withdrew his nomination before the president was even inaugurated. That's all from me. For more such news and analysis from The Print, subscribe below.